am attracted to the dark side of life. I started as a model in Holland and Chanel took me to New York when I was 19, after which I decided to stay. Just because you're of the same sex, what difference does it make? Get married to whomever you want. I enrolled in an acting workshop and my first acting role was on the TV soap opera Melrose Place. I'm intrigued by the dark. Out of darkness comes creation. If you do well as an actor, a good director will pick up on it and keep it in the film. I'm 5 feet 11 inches, as I proudly say, just so I don't have to say 6 feet. We've always been ready for female superheroes, because women want to be them and men want to do them. I always feel like I want to do my career my own way. I never follow anybody's path, what they've done. I want to work with great directors. I want to work on good material with good actors.
I've probably done 20 movies at this point and a lot of independents.
It's been an incredible ride, and I love it, and I'm just going to keep going and doing what I'm doing. It's never been important to be a huge star or to have some breakout role. If you're the lead, you get a lot more screen time and you get a lot more chances to develop that character more thoroughly than you would if you do it in a little supporting part. Robert De Niro. It seemed like a pretty cool thing to do to put his name on my resume next. I try not to have high expectations of people because it just sets you up for disappointment, but it's great to work with actors who are that talented and accomplished. I love scary movies. The Shining and Don't Look Now are two of the best. Everybody gets typecast in movies, but you have to make wise choices. I'd say around 90% of movie casting is about the way you look, so you have to fight that. If producers had their way, I'd only be in action films, but I'm interested in a more varied career than that. I like to go from mainstream movies to more artsy films. I don't sign on for the money. Maybe I should, but I don't. There's always a good reason for doing something. The only way to do is just to go for it, otherwise it ends up looking phony. I don't know how to cook, and there's so much work involved. You have to buy the groceries and prepare them. I like it when people cook for me, or I'll just order some takeout. I have a friend in New York who's a stylist, and I went over to her place because she's got a lot of clothes. I basically ended up wearing most of it, so it's all stuff that I brought over. I love the first 2 X-Men movies because I thought that Bryan Singer did such a great job. He elevated that whole genre. He's a very talented director. I know Dark Phoenix is a huge part of the X-Men saga, so I'm assuming they're at least going to want to touch on it, but I don't know, and I don't know whether I would want to be involved. That depends on many different things. I live in New York. I don't really particularly want to move to LA. Triple tonguing? It was sort of invented. It wasn't in the script. It was something that I came up with. I'm trying to fight typecasting as hard as I can while I have time. Once you achieve a certain level of success or fame, it becomes really difficult to go against type. There are certain things I try to avoid as an actress, just to keep my world from being as narrow as it could be. The Dutch are a very practical people. I personally like to do independent films. I like the work that I get to do. My French is still good. That's a beautiful language, and I'm happy to speak it. As a European, I had fit in almost seamlessly in New York for the last 25 years, but in Oklahoma, I stood out like a sore thumb. I love stories about two people who are doing illegal things, who we really enjoy watching, despite the fact that we know they are doomed in some way. During my first visit, I was really struck by how deeply religious many Oklahomans are. It is a very conservative state, and as somebody who grew up in a very liberal country, it was jarring to me at first. Film has played such a big part in my life, in my impressions of the United States. Disneyland is supposed to be the happiest place on earth, and I have to say, when I'm riding around in that crazy Space Mountain ride, I'm happy. I think there's a big misconception out there about actors and the choices they have. When someone holds a knife to your throat, it's easy to be scared. It's not hard to imagine what it would be like. I always feel like I want to do my career my own way. I never follow anybody's path, what they've done. The great thing I think when you do independence is that people are really there for the same reason. They're not there because they got a lot of money and they want to just go home and get it over with. They're there because they believe in the script or the director or the cast or whatever it is, and they want to make it work. I've lived in New York for a really long time. In studio films, everything has to be boxed in. Everybody needs to know beforehand this is comedy, this is sci-fi, this is drama, and what's the point of independent film if you don't get to experiment? I keep pushing buttons and trying to grow as a person and as a filmmaker. I look a certain way. I have a very specific kind of look. You don't ever know with films. You just hope for the best, but sometimes it's a bit of a crapshoot. I think every movie is its own little world, and a director certainly sets the tone. Netflix is something I watch. I don't watch TV.